But before we get there, I just wanted to share a little bit of a meeting I had this morning, or at least a tour. I know, Mike, you've walked through the jungle, and this morning there was an organized walkthrough by the railroad, of the land that's owned by the railroad. I mean, I've been down into the jungle before. It was a different area, and it seems to be more tightly packed. There's more people there. I'd say there were probably 20 to 30 people camping in this area between Cecil Malone Drive and where the railway goes through the Agway property. And a few things really struck me. We saw some people there and spoke with a couple of people. There was a gentleman who was swinging a large chain, and he looked kind of dangerous, frankly. It was a little scary. But the number of shopping carts that are down there is beyond anything that anybody there could possibly use. It does appear that there's a practice of bringing shopping carts there and destroying them. In the creek, I looked over this cement wall, and there were probably 20 shopping carts in the water, and they're destroyed. You're talking about thousands of dollars. I mentioned the shopping carts before I talk about bicycles. There seems to be a particular focus on stealing bicycles and destroying them. Wow. You know, you'd think, well, if you're going to steal a bike, you'd ride it. But these bikes are disassembled. The tires are ripped off. There was one encampment where there were stacks of bicycles that had been placed into a fire and burned. So you just see the rusted frames. But there's tents full of bicycles. And there's kids' bicycles in there that have been obviously, you know, taken from somewhere. But they're not taking them to ride them. They almost seem to be taking them just to prevent them from being used as bikes. And I don't understand it at all. You know, it's almost, they're at war with one half of Bike Walk Tompkins. There's just, they are diminishing the ability to ride bikes here. And the squalor, the garbage, I have talked about this before. It's appalling. It's not good for the people who are living there. It's certainly dangerous. There was talk about there's been a drowning down there. There was a kidnapping, and I think there's a matter under investigation for murder. You know, there was somebody's tent who supposedly was involved in communicating about the kidnapping was burned to the ground. This is something that I believe we have an obligation as community leaders to do something about. So I just share that information. I'd be happy to get comment from anybody else. But it was really discouraging what we are allowing to happen in our community.